So Brian, thanks for joining Westpac Wire in the morning of the bank's full year results. Good results in a challenging year for the industry. How would you unpack the numbers and describe any difference between the first and second half?
Well, it's been a good year, particularly as you say in a challenging environment. We've had a lot of extra costs and a lot of regulatory goals that we had to meet this year, and 3% cash earnings growth in that context I think is a good result, particularly given we had a number of non-recurring items this year like the sale of BTIM and also which gave us a big gain, as well as some payments that we absorbed to remediate some past customer issues.
Yeah, so that's one of the two new items this year. There's obviously the bank levy, but there's the payments, which has resulted in a provision related to the Get It Right, Put It Right program. Can you talk a bit about the program and how long it might run?
Well, it's no surprise to anyone that the reputation of the banking industry has been under a lot of pressure in the last little while. And I think that represents a shift in expectations from the community, and we're committed to dealing with the issues that are there. And in some cases, these are practices that were okay 10 years ago, but just aren't anymore. And what I've encouraged our people to do is go through every aspect of our products and our policies and processes. If we find something that isn't up to standard, then we change it, we fix it. And then if in the course of that we discover that some customers have been disadvantaged, then we deal with it and we put it right for them. And that cost us collectively $169 million this year.
All divisions increased profit this year, bar BT. It came at a topical time, I guess, for the industry, given a few peers are actually exiting parts of the wealth management sector. Can you talk through the long-term opportunity for BT and perhaps also the broader opportunity for wealth in general sitting inside a bank?
Well, the starting point is that our customers are aging and Australians don't have enough insurance, they don't have enough protection, and they need a retirement plan. And we want to be there through people's lives to help them. And BT has been investing to make sure that we've got the capability to do that. But the wealth industry has faced a lot of headwinds this year. There have been regulatory costs, there have been changes in regulation that we've needed to deal with. We've been going through our back book to find, again, as part of the Get It Right, Put It Right stuff, issues we need to fix. And that's cost us this year. There's also changes in margin and the like. But the fundamental position of BT is very strong, and we've seen actually good underlying growth in the funds under management, in the insurance premiums and the like. And the Panorama project, the platform that we built for wealth management, came online this year. It's the best platform in the market. And we think actually as our competitors are exiting the business, this is setting us up to have a really strong competitive advantage.
Now, as always in Australia, the housing market, very topical at the moment, perhaps even more so given the regulatory requirements that Westpac today actually said we're meeting in terms of the interest-only lending cap. Looking into 2018 though, can you talk towards how you see the housing transition taking place and also with regards to credit growth?
Well, there are two different issues here. The housing markets in the major markets, particularly in Victoria, New South Wales, and to an extent in Brisbane, have been very strong. And we still think they're healthy and that they're driven by underlying customer demand and not enough supply to meet that demand. At the same time, though, the regulators have been concerned that if interest rates were to rise in the future, that some consumers might be under pressure in their spending and would have to devote more of their spending to covering their mortgages. So there's been intervention to try to reduce the amount of interest-only spending and interest-only lending, and to make sure that customers are resilient. So that has flowed through into a tightening in the availability of mortgage lending, and we're seeing that start to bring the growth rates down in some of those hotter markets. But I think it's very important to say we still think that the market is fundamentally healthy and that people shouldn't be concerned about a big credit bubble or something which you occasionally see talked about in the press. The final thing I would say is that there are some regional markets, particularly those affected by the slowdown in mining investment, and they are still continuing to find it tough.
Another topical issue at the moment for the industry is actually top-line growth. Where is it going to come from? Which is obviously linked to the outlook for the economy. Looking into next year, can you talk through how you see conditions playing out, given a few challenges such as low wages growth and rising energy prices?
Well, in aggregate, we think the economy is still healthy, and we think next year, from a growth point of view, is going to be relatively similar to this year. There are some challenges in that residential construction is slowing down, and we look out later in the year. But some of that is being taken up by increased infrastructure spending and the like. So we do think there are opportunities for growth to continue. It's a fundamentally healthy economy. And there are new industries coming along, new opportunities being created, whether it's through stronger links to Asia, new technologies that are coming online and the like. And so it's a very dynamic time, and we still think that the outlook is relatively positive.
Another thing that seems to be going on with banking globally is banks reconnecting with their purpose, if you like. And Westpac recently made a minor change to its values. Could you talk through that with us, and also stepping back, thinking about the future of banking longer term, given just the amount of rapid change going on?
Well, one of the great things that Westpac has going for us is that our purpose has been the same for 200 years. We exist to support the economic development of Australia and New Zealand. And we've recommitted to that in our 200th year. It's been a really important time for us to recognize this broader purpose that we do have. The values change that you talk about was a very minor change. We changed the word customer delight to service. It's really the same idea, but it reflects the fact that talking to our people and our customers about our commitment to being one of the world's great service companies has been a really important organizing thought for the company that we think sets us up well for the future. Because while technology is changing the way we deliver banking, the fundamentals of what people are looking for in terms of a convenient way to manage their money, the right kind of advice that helps them deal with the choices that they have to make around their financing, the desire to be able to buy a home, have a great retirement, those fundamental requirements aren't changing. It's just the way that we deliver that has been changing rapidly as a function of technology.
And finally, on targets, it seems in the result a lot were hit this year with cost growth, ROE, customer acquisition. But is it fair to say that the actual goal to get to a cost-to-income ratio below 40% might take a bit longer? And how do you see the role of technology playing in that, in productivity more generally?
Well, yes, it's certainly true. We have a goal of getting below 40%, and we're still committed to that goal. There's a lot of different ways of looking at productivity. We actually feel very good about the progress that we're making on expense control and expense reduction and productivity. And this year, all of the business as usual cost growth that is embedded in inflation and the like was offset through productivity. So the only cost growth that we had was essentially new investments we're making to drive the business in the future. But the cost-income ratio has an income side as well as a cost side. We had a bunch of offsets this year because of the customer remediation payments and the like, and that's meant that ratio hasn't moved as much as we'd like. When you look at cost to assets, however, that has continued to come down, and it shows that we are making good progress.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Michael.